Welcome everyone to another edition of Daf Discussions. Today we will be discussing the Sechtes Shabbos Daf Chavtes. Everyone is very busy with Pesach cleaning, I understand, including myself. Therefore, today's share is going to be a little shorter with a little less teichen, but I'll try to get something through just to keep the cycle going. The Gemara says, Omar Rav Yehuda Omar Rav Masikin Bekelim Ve'ein Masikin Meshivrei Kelim. You're allowed to be madlik ish on, we're talking about Yom Tov obviously, because Shabbos you're not allowed to light a fire no matter what. So you're allowed to use a regular keli, but you're not allowed to use a keli which broke on Yom Tov. And the reason is because if it broke on Yom Tov, it's noilan because it's a new mitzias. Before Yom Tov it was a keli, and now it's a shever kli. So if you're lighting that, that is called noilan. So everybody sees this gemara. It makes a lot of sense. Muktzeh noilan. Then you think for a minute, so what? It's muktzeh. Who said there's anything wrong with lighting muktzeh? Is there anything wrong with touching muktzah? Not to the best of my knowledge. What's the Assur muktzah? You're not allowed to move muktzah. Tiltal is Assur. So you have this keli in the oven. So what are you going to do? You're going to light it. So what's the problem? What's the Assur of lighting a kli? I mean, metaltal in it. So you could say perhaps lighting when it's going down, that's kilo, it's moving, but it's not moving. It's the opposite of moving. It's shrinking. So perhaps that's considered moving. So now, there is a fascinating Magen Avrohom, which you probably won't believe it unless you see it inside. So, by all means, everyone is welcome to check this out. The halacha of Masikin Mekalim, the Masikin Mekalim, is in Tovkuf Aleph Sif Vav. So look at the Magen Avrohom over there. Look at the Magen Avrohom. Kelim Shnish B'Yam Tevei Masikin Mepnei Shem Noilad. Dr. Magen Avrohom. Sif Kotin Yudal. The Havalei Noilad. The Assur Rabbanan. I'm sorry, the next one. My bad. Sif Kotin Yud Beis. The Assur l'talton, I feel sorry from Kaiman Assur. The Muktzeh, Assur l'honois mimenu. The next step, Sif Vav. Kehilas Yaakov, the Mesikim of Nation Meled. The Muktzeh is Assur to have a no. You cannot derive any benefit from Muktzeh. As they state the Magen Avrohom. Peladik Gezach. It's a new din. No one knew about this din. You know you're not allowed to move Muktzeh. Talk to Magen Avrohom. You're not allowed to have hano from Muktzeh. That's a view fine and dandy, if not for the fact that the Magen Avrohom himself, in many places, says that it is mutter to have hano for muktzah. But the truth is, you see, Klar, the Magen Avrohom is very misupik. In Tovkuf Zayin Sifilad and Gimel, he says Klar is misupik. And in Tovkuf Tes, Sifkat and Tes Vav, he makes a pshara. He says l'chatchili and Allah to be mishta. He doesn't say hano. He's not like mishtamish in the muktzah. But the Evid, maybe you could be. So it's very unclear this halacha of a masikim mishivrei kelim. Why shouldn't you be able to masikim mishivrei kelim? So Sharatzian mentions, maybe perhaps you could say, the reason is because when you're being mastic, it's nothing wrong with using it to light, it's just you automatically can end up being metal to it. And he says, he wants to be medayik from Rashi later on in Daf Kuf Mem Dalet, I believe, that's taka devar, that you're going to end up moving it. But he says, he asks the Murray to Kasha from the Gemara on Chav Ches on Beis, he was talking about you're using neiris for a beggar of Shalish al Shalish. The Gemara said you can't be madlik because when you're madlik it, you have to madlik Rav Yitzis, you have to keep it there. Then it's a shever kli, and then it's a problem of masikim meshivrei kelim. The fact that Sharatzian over there, you're not moving anything. All you're doing is lighting it. So what's the problem? You see, Klar, the Assur is even if you're not moving it. So check the Rashba. The Rashba Taka also spars from here that there's an Assur to be mishtamish b'muktzah, which is a tremendous chiddush. There's an Assur to be mishtamish b'muktzah. And if you're using the Bahanaah, Bais Halevy in Shuvah, he has a lot of kashas on this Rashba. Now, I didn't get a chance to go through it. I was trying to work out a mahalach from Yashu, but as of now, I still don't have a full mahalach, so we're just going to say over that point what they say. Bais Halevy has his own original mahalach. He says a whole different shot in this halach, in this Mishnah. Not because you're being mishtamish in the muktzah itself, rather because Zok the Bais Halevy, because there's a klal of there's machlekes in the Gemara of enkli nittel el tzarech davar nittel or not. In other words, if you want to move let's say, Chametz Pesach is a classic example. Another example, you want to move a kli to cover over something else, and that something else is muktzah. So there's a machlekes. So he says, even though we pass it, that's not a problem, but he says that's only in a kli. However, something which is not a kli, the kli alma, you can't move l'tzarech davar she'ein nittel. So he says, here's the problem. Since the shaver kli is muktzah, so the problem is not that you're being mishtamish in the shaver kli. Rather, so the Bais Halevy in the Tshuva, the problem is you're being metaltal the eish. So it's also mishtamish in eish l'tzoyrich adavar she'ein nittel. As I state in Bais Halevy. Now the Kehilas Yaakov in Bais and Dalet, he asks, what's the chiluk between why is the kli different than this? So the Kehilas Yaakov pshat is, he says a svara. He says the reason why we hold there's nothing wrong with mishtamish and the kli l'tzarech davar she'enitel is because you're not being mevatel the kli. You're not doing it now. In other words, because the kli still has other uses, so it's not really a muktzah. So although right now you're using it for something else, but the kli itself, there's nothing wrong with it. So it's a good kli. It's a shikha muktzah the good kli. But he says mashnekin I think was shikha kli. So the whole entire taich is what it's being used for. So it's water. He brings down the Kehilas Yaakov brings down a Magen Avrohom. Mishna Berurah. He says the same thing. You can't use water to put on top of basar, which is in a case where the basar is muktzah. So he says Mamash Hashem said is Bais Halevy. It's the Kehilas Yaakov again. Bais Halevy. Check it out. He has a very nice arichas about this concept. Is there a sugi of muktzah is Assur Bahanaah or not? He brings down all the various shittas. So he says since the definition of something which is not a kli is what you're using it for. So if you're using it for a davar ha-muktzah, so the whole thing is a shtick muktzah because that's the whole entire. That's what it's for. So Melo, so basically that's pshat in this din. You mishtamish the eish, so the eish becomes muktzah. But Avadi says there's nothing wrong whatsoever with the thing itself. So now the Mishna Berurah in the Sharat Sion, he has a different explanation. He quotes the Magen Avrohom that says that it's Assur b'tiltul. So let's first see the Mishna Berurah before the Sharat Sion. The Mishna Berurah says, what's the Assur? Assur b'tiltul l'kach osel hasik lehem afilei metaltul and klal el asar from the mekayimon. Gamkin Assur. Why? This is the $1 million question. The Ma'aseh hadloko she'oisa b'kli she'nadlekas al yod choshiv kitiltul. Lighting it is like total somehow. And then in Sharatini says, Mashkosav Magen Avrohom, the muktzah also hanis b'menu, kavanos gamkin go'efik gezeh, the madlik b'yadayim. He says the Magen Avrohom also doesn't really mean muktzah is Assur Bahanaah. Because if you check, like we said, look at Bais Halevy, Taisus and Avodah Zarah, that Samach Vav, a lot of Rishonim, it's clear muktzah is mutter Bahanaah. So he says that's svara, that using it b'yadayim, that's choshev, that is choshev ketiltus. So like we had the Bais Halevy's pshat, and we have the Sharatzin's pshat, and there's the Stipler. He has arichas to explain, like I mentioned before. The Rashba says Zasl Shtamish, and Bais Halevy is a lot of kash in the Rashba. So the Kehilas Yaakov is a big arichas. He says there's two different types of muktzahs. There's a muktzah of the standard muktzah, which is something which is enim muchan, and then there's a muktzah of eitzim v'avonim, which is posh because there's no use. And he's mechal between the two, and he says eitzim v'avonim is a whole different type of muktzah. The regular muktzah is a pasuk. He says you learn out from the Kehilas Yaakov. But he quotes the Rambam. And the Rambam says that the muktzah beitzim avonim is pasha because it's over the chol. Shloihid diburach shashav diburach shel chol. Shloihid tulach shel chol. The oich and tatli kol lekol. He's quoting the Rambam. Tatli kol tiltul yasik kol yom magbos v'lochas chvetzim. It's for and covered Shabbos. He says that the Rashba's svara only applies to the muktzah of echinu and not to the muktzah of beitzim avonim. So as you can tell, I'm very busy with Pesach cleaning, so I didn't have that much time to go through everything, so see the Stipler and more barichis, and there's a lot more to say about the sugya. And have a wonderful Pesach.